Hey guys, just wanted to make a really quick video. Something I see constantly overlooked in so many bug out bags, in so many get home bags. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I've seen guys who have get home bags that are filled with everything except the kitchen sink. Well, everything except the kitchen sink and what you're looking at right here. Cold, hard cash. Now, cold, hard cash is very important in a bug out bag, but depending on what the bug out situation is, it might not be that important. However, if you're facing a localized disaster and you need to get home, cash is going to be the most important thing in your get home bag. Absolutely. Because honestly, if you live, for example, 30 miles away from where you work, or even just 20, 15, or 10 miles away, do you really want to walk that far? Not really. Let's face it, if you can help it, you're not going to want to walk that far. If you can hail a cab and you can tell the guy, hey, listen, I need you to get me home, don't pick anyone else up, don't stop for anyone, hey, here's a $50 bill, here's a $100 bill, just get me home, I'll pay whatever the fare is, and this is going to be your tip. That's what you do, and hey, now you got a cab ride home. And again, it depends on the type of situation it is that might cause you to need to get home. Chances are, if side roads are open, maybe even the expressway or the highway is still open, well, why wouldn't you want to just bribe some greedy cabbie a decent amount of money to get you home on top of the fare? And guess what? Now you've just used the most important item in your get home bag to get home. You didn't have to break out any of your other supplies. No water purification tablets, no tarp to use as shelter, and you just avoided any potential unpleasant encounters on the street. That means you've also avoided any legal issues that could come with those unpleasant encounters later on. Why? All because you had a good chunk of cold, hard cash to bribe your way home. Let's face it, guys, there are good people out in the world. I was involved in a pretty bad car wreck about 10 years ago, and thankfully I wasn't hurt. But let me tell you something, if you've never had an airbag explode in your face, yeah, that's a heck of an experience. Keep in mind, they use actual blasting caps in order to cause airbags to explode and inflate that quickly. Not very pleasant if you end up inhaling those fumes, let me tell you. And I ended up pretty much begging an off-duty cabbie to please get me home. And he was done with his shift. He was actually on his way home, which was not in the same direction I was going. I explained what had happened. I had just been released from the ambulance that showed up maybe less than 5 minutes. And this cabbie, to his credit, and I don't know his name, I didn't get his name, and I'm very sorry about that, but this cabbie went out of his way to make sure I got home that night as quickly as possible. And I really appreciate that, I do. But, let's face it, in a disaster situation, in a situation where you actually need to use your get home bag, are you going to be fortunate enough to encounter that type of cabbie? Maybe. Realistically, probably not. But if you encounter someone who's usually a decent person, but they just don't want to be bothered, or if you encounter some scumbag, hey, a nice little bribe is going to go a long way. How much should you carry with you in your get home bag? Well, it varies. Some experts recommend $200, some say $500. Honestly, carry what you feel comfortable carrying in your get home bag. Realistically, the further away you live, the more money should be in your get home bag. Cold hard cash, absolutely, number one item that should be in your get home bag. Above everything else, above your knife, your lighter, heck, if you have a concealed carry permit, even above your handgun. Because if you're able to bribe a cabbie to take you home, you're home. You won't have to use any of the other items in your get home bag. You won't have any horrifically unpleasant encounters on your way home. You won't have to walk home. I'm fortunate. I only live about 10.5 miles away from where I work. Still, I'm not in the absolute best shape. I'm not in the best of health. I am not going to look forward to walking 10.5 miles from where I work in order to get home. I would much rather bribe a cabbie and have him get me home. And as cold and cruel as it might sound, hey, I don't want to have a potential violent encounter with another passenger who gets in the cab. So I'm going to tell him, take me home, don't pick anyone else up. Here's your money, this is what you'll get. One thing, people like crisp, clean bills. You'll notice this particular 50 is not badly matted up, it's not old, it's not messed up. That's what people like, crisp, clean, new bills. So yeah, keep several denominations on you. $100 bill, 50, 20s, 10s, keep several denominations with you, because you never know. You might offer some guy $50 and he's like, ugh, no way. Okay, here's $100 bill, crisp and clean, get me home. Oh, yes sir, yes sir. No problem, sir, you the boss. So yeah, if you don't have cold hard cash in your bug out bag or your get home bag, seriously, you need to put it in there. Have a good one, guys.